Welcome everybody to another episode of the He's on Fire podcast, preview show for tomorrow's game, season opener, tip-off, the Phoenix Suns versus the Golden State Warriors. Very excited, highly anticipated. We have a bunch of expectations going into the season about this current team, probably the most exciting roster construction we've seen in franchise history, and all that starts tomorrow. But before we get into the nitty gritty of it all, I have a couple things to talk about. Nothing too serious. I just some updates and different things that are going to be going around in my life, really, and my association with this podcast, which isn't tainted whatsoever. I just wanted to say I am very grateful for the multiple years that we've been doing the podcast, talking to, all the fans and listeners and meeting, guys from the Suns Jam session, then Flex from Jersey, and just all these great characters across the Arizona sports world that have been covering the team a lot longer than we have. And I just want to say I greatly appreciate talking to each and single one of you guys. And because of that, the reason why I'm mentioning all this is because the last month, what's up, Westville? The last month, I've been really contemplating what I really want to do going forward. I didn't have, in the creation of this podcast, I didn't really have a desire to do anything like content creation wise, but doing this with Coach Evan B and Amit, it's been a fucking blast to cover Arizona sports, just stuff that I watch in general, and getting more and more into this. You talk to more and more people, you start watching more and more things, and it really inspired me to take another step into the content creation world, per se. In the last month, I've been working on something, and I hope to officially roll it out in the next couple of days for this upcoming NBA season. But I would like to announce my new YouTube channel that I'm launching called The Pull Up J. It like the intro is going to be a lot shorter, but that's just something that I had on the drive. But again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in the last few years. I'm still going to be doing the podcast with the guys. When Evan gets back, we're going to be back in the flow of things, and when schedules aren't crazy and all that stuff. But everybody that I've talked to throughout the years have just been nothing but kind and great people and willing to give insight to everything that they do and what they cover. And at the end of the day, I just want to talk NBA basketball, and that's what this branch off YouTube channel is going to be. It's going to be in direct correlation with the He's on Fire podcast. I want to talk about everything NBA basketball, not just the Phoenix Suns. I watch a ton of basketball, and I would love to have conversations with people from across the league, from different teams in different parts of the country. So I going to be diving more and more into that. There should be a video coming out in the next day or two, and it's just going to be about the contenders of this year and my insight about all of them. But with that being said, let's just dive into the preview of this game tomorrow. What is going on, Tony? We are all excited for this season. Thanks for tuning in, man. Really much appreciated. And I can't wait either, Westville. I can't wait. But in the show notes of this podcast, in the description at the bottom, there is a direct link to the new YouTube channel. If you want to go subscribe to that and put on your noties, that'd be very much appreciated, just so you know when I do release a video. But if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know because I'll put that on display. And that's ever been more interesting. Yeah, I know. With this angle, I'm using my phone. My laptop camera is like shit, so I'm gonna be getting a new camera and all that stuff. And there's going to be more stuff back here. But yeah, what a great season to start, at doing NBA content and all that. And let's go D-backs, man. Forced to game 7. One more game gets us into the big dance. I can't wait, man, to watch both the Suns and Diamondbacks tomorrow is going to be tough. I'm going to split screen it. But, man, if we get both dubs tomorrow, man, what to start, the sports year, really. But thank you for the kind words, Tony in Westville. But can't wait. But let's dive into this preview show. I mean, we've been fucking waiting for months and months and months since we got Bradley Beal to start this new season, and I can't express enough how excited I am to watch this team this year. In the ticker down below, we're going against Golden State tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Valley time. Injury report came out today. It might be updated tomorrow. But Draymond Green was ruled out today. He rolled his ankle or messed up his foot like a couple of weeks ago during practice. And Devin Booker and Bradley Beal, they both had, some injuries during practice and stuff. Bradley Beal had some back tightness, lower back tightness is more of a precautionary thing. And then Devin Booker has a messed up toe. Josh Okogie stepped on it during practice. It's just a little sore, achy, whatever. Vogel didn't seem too stressed out about it, but those have been the updates going into this game. But let's talk about Golden State and where they are currently going into this season. Last season, their offensive rating was 116, which is pretty good. That was eighth in the entire league. Defensive rating, that's when you start to see, the plummet. They were ranked 17th, and then they were first in assists per game at 29.8. This is a very high functioning offense when Steph Curry is on the floor. If you remember last year, their bench was atrocious and like absolute polar opposites if Steph Curry was on the floor compared to off the floor. They couldn't win a home game to save their life last year. I'm surprised they even made it as far as they did in the playoffs, beating Sacramento in 7 games. But they still have their core: Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. They coughed up Jordan Poole to the Wizards, and now they have the addition of Chris Paul and Dario Saric, and now they're using Kuminga a little bit more. So those are sort of the main guys that we're looking at right now for the Golden State Warriors. Everything that I've seen from Warriors Reddit pages and just Warriors discourse on Twitter and everywhere else. They like what they've seen from Chris Paul. I have no doubt in my mind that Chris Paul will, quote unquote, work on this team. Just because he's a floor general, he's a table setter, and like Steph's game and success has come from people setting him up, like Draymond or even Andrew Bogut for a period. So. Going into this game, of course, it's Kayvon Looney at the center position. Draymond Green will be out. So, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, who's probably going to fill that spot there. Maybe JaMychal Green to fill that 4 position. So, with Draymond being out, that's pretty big for us. That takes away Steph's floor general. So Steph is going to be a lot more on ball if Chris isn't taking up the ball. I'm not necessarily worried about the bench. They don't have Dante DiVincenzo anymore. He's with the Knicks, and they still have Ty Jerome. They still have Gary Payne II. They have some cool pieces on their bench, but Steph Curry, I feel like this year he's going to be playing a fuck ton of minutes. Klay Thompson, another year older on those knees. And which again, like since Draymond's out, it's going to be huge. But a guy that we need to watch out for tomorrow is definitely Kayvon Looney, and this is a good test for Yusuf Nurkic to really assert his dominance because Looney, very underrated center, dude, picks boards like nothing, plays pretty good rim protection defense, just perimeter defense when he has to be. But Nurkic just definitely has a tall tale task to assert his dominance against a guy like Kayvon Looney, which again he's very very underrated. Tony, you said is it a plus 20-point win against the Warriors? Too optimistic? No, I'm about to dive into that right now. So with Golden State being where they're at, they're going to be a slower offense, which is weird when you put slow and Golden State together. So that means less possessions, less shots up. With this new Phoenix Suns team, it's going to be a polar opposite of what we've seen the last few years. With Bradley Beal in command, assuming that he's going to play, I'm pretty sure he's going to play, and that Devin Booker and Kevin Durant wanted to play at a faster pace, which we've been preaching for, praying for years to pick up the pace because it just seems like we played better with pace, and the stats back it up as well. Um, so to answer your question, a 20 plus point win, I think we're going to come out swinging. I mean, we saw in the preseason how we could just rack up points in a blink of an eye. I just hope we keep the turnovers down and we just take the best shot possible. And if we can get it down to those couple of things, I mean, it's going to be really really hard to beat this team. Um, Realistic explanations for Grayson Allen this season. Grayson Allen is going to be huge. I mean, he started a couple of years with the Milwaukee Bucks. He's just an NBA starter in general. So for him to come off the bench willingly is going to be really huge. And what we've seen from him in the preseason has been very eye opening. I knew Grayson Allen was a pretty decent player, but if he can do what he was doing in the preseason, at least a few times a week. I'm not expecting 18-point games out of him, but if he can give us 10 on a limb, just about every night, 10 to 12, like that's perfectly good for me. Expectations, yeah, I knew what you meant. But Grayson Allen, he's going to be absolutely huge for this team. But with the Suns, I think we're going to come out swinging. The preseason games that we did watch, it didn't look like your turn, my turn sort of offensive approach. It looks like there's a game plan in place for how these guys are going to operate. It never seemed clunky and never seemed forced. So I expect things to be sort of clicking. If Katie starts off slow, I'm not going to be tripping about it. But I am super, super excited for this game. Just to see the boys back on the court and to see Beal rocking a Phoenix Suns jersey officially is pretty insane. Before we talk about the Phoenix side of things, uh, Ish, Wain, Ish Wainwright and Keon Johnson got cut from the team. Uh, Ish, we love you, man. It was great having you here. Locker room vibe. Absolutely loved everything that he did here, and he represented everything Arizona, and he really embraced it. So shout out to Ish. Really gonna miss you, and Keon. You have hella potential, athleticism through the roof. You just got to put it all together. And we really didn't give you a chance here, but develop your game in the G League, and I think you'll be just all right. But yeah, let's get into the Phoenix side of things. Let me pull up the Suns stats real quick. If y'all have any questions, let me know. So last year, this is pre and post trade deadline when we shook up the roster. In offensive rating, we're 14th in the league. Defensive rating, we were 7th, which was better than Denver. Just so y'all know. But assists per game with Chris Paul was 4th in the league, obviously. So I think with the offensive rating, the 14th is crazy. Like we should definitely be top 10, if not, top 5. Just off the sole reasoning, like we have a bunch of bucket getters on this team, both starters and bench. That should, bump up quite a lot. If it doesn't change, obviously something went terribly wrong. Defensive rating being at 7th last year. As long as we stay in the top 10, I'm not tripping. But for us to win comfortably, I would like to stay in that top 10 range because, statistics show championship level teams have to be a top 10 in both to be in contention for, chip usually. And Denver was a exception of very few because they were ranked, I think, 13th in defense last year. And I have no doubt in my mind that not only our offense is going to be severely better with us shooting more threes, getting to the line more, and getting to the rim even more too. So all that stuff that we lacked last year is going to go up a few notches with this current iteration of the team. So I'm not tripping about that whatsoever. Then with the defensive rating, it being seventh last year with less talent, quote unquote, compared to this team currently, we might stay at the seventh. We might be a little better than that. So I'm going to be looking at that number throughout the season and just to see if it changes. But the assists per game will probably go down a bit. Again, if we're top 10, I'm not really tripping about it just because, the stats back it up. Um, yeah, I think Beal's going to play tomorrow. I think he's just been, chilling really, back soreness, whatever. I don't think he threw it out if he was practicing. Same thing with Book. I mean, they had full fledged practices today. Um, so the Suns were 45 and 37 last year. Not ideal, but with us getting Kevin Durant and shaking some things up and dealing with all the injuries that we did, that's a pretty good record. So on the podcast, like a few months ago, John is in the cut, like Neosporin. Uh, take the over 19.5 points. I think Beal is going to average. I'm gonna go 22 this season. I think that's pretty reasonable. Yeah, dude, the lines are weird for the Suns, man, because the line for win total for the Suns this year is like 51, I want to say, or it might be 49. Uh, one of the times I checked, it was just super low. So just take the over on everything, Suns related. But I think we'll be a 55 win plus team going into this year. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this team, 170. I really want it. Um, Book over 5.5 assists and Book tomorrow as well. That's so part. Yeah, I would definitely, put some money on that for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like he can get 6 assists with this fucking team. Of course he can, and he's gonna be running with a bench unit. So like Yuta, that's free assists. Eric Gordon, free assists. Grayson Allen, fucking Drew Eubanks when he's doing his thing. Bill's going to be attacking the rim. Yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing with this trade, man. I mean how Beal gets to the rim willingly, like that's the shot he wants to take every time, and he's going to go to the line so much, and that's going to be absolutely pivotal for this team for this season. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're in the top five in free throw attempts. If we are, dude, we're cooking. We're cooking, man. Nurkic assists too. Yeah, if Nurk can do what he did in that first Portland game, like, like 2 or 3 times a week, I'll be happy because his passing is very underrated. 2.5 assists tomorrow? Really? Who the fuck is making these lines? That's just free money there. Nurk could get 3 assists. Yeah, take the over on that, 100%. I hope you're putting money on this, John. Are you doing a preview show for the game tomorrow, John? If you need me, let me know. I'm around. But I am super excited to watch this game. 7 o'clock. I'm taking Nurk at 4. Yeah, I say that's a good number. What do you think the line is for Aaron Gordon? I wonder what that is. Just a post gamer. All right. Let me know if you need me to fill in. I will be available. During the game. I'll be watching it on my projector. First game on the projector. I'm super excited. Um, yeah. I wonder what the over under is for Eric Gordon and Probably even Yuta too, because he's going to get a good amount of minutes. Yeah, with Nurk and Bradley Beal, the most underrated thing about them is like they can really sell contact when it doesn't look like they're flopping. That's more of a skill than actually flopping. And plus, refs are going to be cracking down on that too. Um, but everybody in the chat, what are going to be some guys that you're going to be watching out for tomorrow? Let's just call it, keys to success. What are some things that we should really tackle and just watch out for tomorrow? What's going to be the most eye-opening thing to you and what you're going to be watching out for? The keys to success for tomorrow's win is, limit Steph Curry as much as possible. Send Jordan Goodwin or Josh Okogie on him. Make it feel very uncomfortable. Force turnovers like what Westville said right here. Great point. Uh, you know, Good defense creates offensive opportunities. So if we do that, we can really run up the score in Golden State fashion, like prime Golden State fashion, and that will be hilarious. Okogie's D. How does he attack the paint of point of attack? Yeah, like what I've seen from Okogie, he does really well on Steph Curry. Like he's pretty decent, but for some reason Jamal Murray, it just doesn't click. Like he gets beat every time. Yuta and Nurk and how the flow of the game and which of the big three stays in the beginning. Yeah, so I think the how it's going to go is, of course, all three start, and then KD will probably be the first one out, and then Beal will be the second one out. Book will play the whole first quarter and probably start of the second, run with that bench unit, and then KD will probably come in for probably Drew Banks or Metu, who's ever playing that four position, and then Beal will probably be the third guy out, and then you just go from there. Uh, uh, yeah, the point of attack defense is going to be crucial for Okogie because that's what we have him for. So if you can't do that, that's gonna suck. Who will be guarding Chris Paul? Okogie. No, we'll probably put probably probably Beal on Chris. I mean, that's an easy assignment right there. And Book, I think you can chase Curry around, and with Clay, I mean, if I can put KD on him, I don't really care. Um, I wonder what the lineup is going to be. Pretty sure Kogie's going to start, and then bench unit, Eric Gordon, Yuta, Grayson, Drew Banks, and Metu. Uh, do we think Book will play all of the quarter one? That was a Monty thing. Yeah, and we saw that in the preseason, Book playing the whole first quarter, which I'm totally cool with. I mean, I want to see Book, you know, cook to start, and come in a timely manner and not get fizzled out like what Monty used to do. But I'm totally cool with Book playing the whole first quarter. And so then he gets that time with the bench unit, and then they can continue to cook. Goodwin and Okogie will be out there at the same time at some point. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. But fuck that. What? You're not in favor of playing Book the whole first quarter? But yeah, setting Goodwin and Okogie out there. I got to get a barking Rottweiler uh, drop in here to play when the dogs are out there. Will Book finally get a career high in threes? I think so because if the preseason told us anything, he's comfortable shooting the three, and I I can't wait. I can't wait, and I think this might be the first year when he hits 40% for three, and if he does that, I mean, we might be looking at an MVP candidate here if everything goes right. Will Book finally get a Book MVP chances? Yeah. Like I just said, if the goalpost doesn't move as much as it does, Book definitely has a case the last couple of years. for this year, of course, the narrative is going to be like, oh, he has Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal on his team, whatever, whatever. And I think after 20 games, everyone's going to be like, Phoenix has probably the deepest roster in the league. The team is stacked, super team. Kevin Durant build another super team. Devin Booker, it's like people are going to dwindle his MVP chances more and more and more, but not do the same energy to Jason Tatum and the Celtics or Anthony Davis with the Lakers. I think they had a really good offseason. So with Book, I think he definitely has a chance to make a case, but he needs to stay healthy all year because if he's out for 15 games, they're going to dox him and not give him a second glance. Book 37% over the past two seasons. Yeah, I think this might be the first year he hits 40. If he hits 40, something went incredibly right. Over or under 2.5 games on Book getting top 3 in points for the Suns. I'm going over. I think Kevin Durant, like people keep on saying Kevin Durant is going to be the second option. I think he's going to be more the third option, if anything, because KD is going to abuse those mismatches. It varies from team to team. With this Golden State game, they're probably going to throw Kuminga or JaMychal Green on or Wiggins on Kevin Durant. And depending on the switch, I mean, that's barbecue chicken right there. So they're just about every team in the league does not have the defensive depth to target like Kevin Durant like that. Match height, physicality, whatever. So Kevin Durant might be getting the third best defender on any given team, and Book will probably get either one or two, depending on the positions, obviously. Oh, all time? Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think so. I'm pretty sure he's on pace for that. Yeah, Draymond's out. Yeah, I had the ticker up in the beginning of the show. He was ruled out, ankle thing, foot thing, whatever, which is huge. Floor general off the court. So, and if we win this game, Golden State fans they're going to be like, oh, it's because Draymond wasn't out. Whatever, I don't give a fuck. Did y'all have any thoughts about Golden State going into this game? Any concerns? Anything you're watching for them? Obviously, Chris Paul and Dario Saric, but uh, besides that, do the Warriors threaten you guys at all? Um, when it comes to the Western pecking order, I probably have the Warriors at like probably 5. I put Sacramento like a notch over them just because if Sabonis is a little better than he was last year, and if Harrison Barnes could be a little more of a contributor, and Keegan Murray, steps up, and just versatile playing, I think Sacramento is going to be again a very very high functioning offense, and if they get better on defense too. I'm concerned for CP3. Uh, like, uh, I'm not necessarily concerned. I'm just worried about their offense looking better. I have no doubt in my mind that Chris Paul is going to be good for this team. It's just going to come down to health with him at the and throughout the season, the whole time that they have him. So I wouldn't be surprised, even if things are going good, if going to State tries flipping them at the trade deadline. CB3 is going to slow them down like he did on us. Yeah, I think so too. He's not going to be pushing the pace. What we should do is to start the game, send fucking a Kogi on Chris for like half the quarter, like full court press and stuff. Really get Golden State's offense starting off slow. That's what I would do personally if I was Frank Vogel. I feel like CP3 could get traded back to the Clippers in a 3-team trade, depending on how both teams start out. Going back to the Clippers is interesting. I can't see that. If I was the Clippers, I'd much rather have Chris Paul than James Harden. Just damaged goods. I'd rather pick the diamond in the rough, the diamond being Chris Paul. in that analogy. I definitely can't see that. I would have to see the whole trade lined up to see. But if I was the Clippers, if I was Golden State, depending what I was getting back in that Clippers trade, uh, I would want. Oh, man, they probably wouldn't even give up Terrence. Man, I'll probably ask for Norman Powell if they're going to cough up anything. If Okogie is on CB3, who gets Curry? I think either Beal or Book can handle it. Really, if you want to pace Book and not have him, running the whole time, just put him on Clay and then see how Beal does on the point of attack with Curry. Because Curry, he's going to be running around screens, he's going to be doing whatever. So, like, Beal doesn't necessarily need to worry about Steph Curry having the ball. Making moves and shit like that. Like Beal just needs to worry about when Steph is ready to pull it, and if Beal can stay in front of him, I think he'll be all right. And this will be a test of the defense really. And if we do full court press, Chris Paul, and then like you can just once Chris passes half court, just send a Kogi back on Steph, and then you just switch back up. You can always do that. When I played, we did that a ton. Um, who has more points, Book, Curry, or KD? I think tomorrow Book would have more KD. Jesus Christ. Book would have more points tomorrow. I think Book and Curry will be really close. And I think Kevin Durant tomorrow, I found a ballpark, and I think he'll have, 27. If I don't know what the line is for Kevin Durant tomorrow, but I think KD will have 27 points tomorrow. I think Beal will have, let's call it 23, and I think Book will have, a cool 30. And then a hot take here, I think Nurkic is going to have 12. He's going to have 12 and 6. And our bench guy with the most points is going to be Grayson Allen, coming in at 12 points. Aaron Gordon with 8, and Yuta with 4 threes. Why not? Why not, dude? Clip it, but I am very, very excited for this game tomorrow, 7 o'clock Valley time. Uh, do you guys have any other questions, comments, or concerns before we close this show out? Again, for the people that are just joining right now, the number's going up quite a bit. I did announce earlier in the show I will be starting a new YouTube channel called The Pull Up J. The link is in the description down below on the show notes. And subscribe and put on the noties. A video should be coming out in the next couple of days. So uh, please, subscribe, show some love. And that channel will be directly correlated to this. Everything will be intertwined. So just so y'all know. 4 threes, that's a hot take. Yeah, I mean, Yuta's Yuta, man. But I think tomorrow we might get up. How many 3-point attempts did we average last year? Hang on, let me look this up. 3-point attempts. Let's see. So we averaged. Okay, so we shot 2,600. I think attempts per game was like 15, which is fucking wild, dude. So I think we can get up 25 threes a game, like a normal, team, like a modern team, and that's the benefit of not having Chris Paul on your team and just a better roster. So I think we're going to be checking up threes, and no better person to do it than Book, Yuta, and Grayson. So. How many points do you or how many minutes do y'all think Jordan Goodwin is going to get in this rotation? I really want to see him on the floor. I just don't know if he's going to be eating up Okogie's minutes or what. This team is just so deep on paper right now, and I just don't know where Goodwin is going to be coming in really. And I think we'll probably be playing 10 deep the whole season, but if you're going down the pecking order, like Goodwin is probably at 11 when you're going through lineups. So, what do y'all think? How many minutes Goodwin's going to average And if he even plays tomorrow, which I think he will play. Um, let's see. I'm trying to look for average attempts of threes that we took last year. It was stupid low. It was one of the lowest in the league last year. But yeah, no, I can't find it. Probably googling it wrong. Let's see. The first game, the first game, I say 8, maybe 10 at most. Grayson and EG both get 18 to 20. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I can see this game being a blowout. I can too. I can too. I'm not trying to be, Mr. Positive here, but I think the Suns are going to put the league on notice tomorrow, sending a message. And I don't think continuity is going to be really an issue these first 20 games. It's just going to be learning. Maybe even see the bull coaster. If the bull coaster is out tomorrow, I will be buying a ticket, man. I do think Allen or Gordon can win Sixth Man of the Year. Man, I can see Grayson like with Eric Gordon at the age that he is. Okay, let me do another Google search here. Sorry, guys. Uh, oldest player to win Sixth Man of the Year. So the oldest player to win Sixth Man of the Year was Jamal Crawford, the Phoenix Suns legend Jamal Crawford. He was 36 years old. And how old is Eric Gordon? Was he 34? Let's see. Jamal Crawford was like a different breed, so 34. So, I mean, he has a chance. He has a chance, I say. But I like out of those two between Allen and Gordon, I think Grayson has a better chance, and I think Grayson might have a case at the end of the year, and if Grayson is in contention for Sixth Man of the Year, wowzers, man, wowzers. Um, any other thoughts and opinions before we wrap this up? I wanted to keep this as short as possible. Um, I'm gonna be running Taco Bell right now. I've been craving a crunch wrap all day. Haven't had the time. Get something for the lady. But yeah, if y'all don't know, Coach Evan B, he recently had a new baby girl, so he's been busy with attending to new parenting duties. Well, he already has another kid, but this new chapter in his life, so he's taking time away, he's doing this thing, and I'm gonna continue to pump out content on both my new YouTube channel and this channel as well. But yeah, please like and subscribe, guys, and share. And I want to grow this podcast as much as possible. And you guys have been great and very outspoken and communicative. And also rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We had a bunch of Pelican fans taint our reviews. Uh, on the doing of me, I was talking hella shit when we beat them. So if y'all can give us 5 stars on those platforms, that would be very much appreciated. Um, I hope to see Metu excel this year. His shot is so crisp. I'm obsessed with Metu. I'm part of the Metu movement, Gavin. If you see this, Metu's been great. His backdoor cuts have been incredible, but Saban Lee just cannot find this guy. Metu, I think, is going to be super valuable on this team, and plus there isn't a lot of tape on this guy. And if you were to look up his stats, they don't jump off the page. I mean, he was like 26% from three last year, and I think that's going to go up like a lot, probably a whole 10%. If Metu is shooting 36%, being a tweener that he is, that's going to be huge. This is such a good comparison. To the listeners, Joe said Metu reminds me of Channing Frye 2.0. Metu is definitely more athletic, I would say. He runs the floor really good. Man, dude. Yeah, so Metu, yeah, so he played some backup center for Sacramento for a bit. I mean, he's a pretty decent center. He's fucking huge, dude. Hang on, let me look at Metu real quick. Um, so, dude, he has a 63% true shooting. That's wild. I had no idea. Dude, they don't have his picture loaded on StatMuse. Hang on, let me see. Yeah, like Metu, he's like 6'9" or whatever. Um, Chimezi Metu. Here we go. He is he's 6'10". Jesus Christ. So he's probably 6'9". But yeah, dude, he runs the floor great. I'm a big Metu guy, man. I think he will be a very, very big contributor to this team. And the Metu being center, I definitely see us going small ball with Metu, and instead of keeping KD out of that, that five position, depending on what team we go against. I'm totally comfortable with putting Metu in there or Jubanks. Who do you think closes tomorrow before we get out of here? The closing lineup. I definitely see Eric Gordon being in the mix. I also see Drew Banks closing the same Nurkic. I think that is most likely going to occur. I can't get over this Channing Frye comparison. I didn't even think of that. The vibes are definitely coming off of that. Man, Channing Frye was so fun. I miss Channing. Let me see something real quick. Totally forgot what I was going to Google. Never mind. But score prediction. I have Phoenix winning tomorrow by 15. 120 to subtract 15 from that. What is that? 105? Yeah. So um I miss Dragon or Fry. Yeah, that tandem was funny. But Fry, Phoenix Suns legend. I cannot remember Channing Frye's number. What was his number? Channing Frye. Like, I see it, but I don't. He was 8. That's what he was. 124 to 103. Yeah, yeah. I definitely see that 130, 115. Like, okay, the goal is tomorrow is if we can keep Golden State under 100 and winning, that is a big plus because like if Golden State gets over 100, especially if they get to 115, like you said here, Westville, like people are just going to be harping on the whole defense thing. And I really want to put that to bed as much as possible. If we get to this 124, 103, that's a good score. Even though this is like the same point, you know, difference. But I'm gonna run that Channing Frye thing with Ahmed and Evan to see what they think about that. That's funny. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up from here. Phoenix, I think, takes the cake tomorrow, opening night in a handly fashion. Thank you everybody that tuned in today. We had a good amount of traction for tonight's show, solo show, tip-off preview of the Phoenix Suns versus Golden State Warriors game tomorrow. Please like and subscribe, and please share this podcast around. Please like and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And check out Arizona Sports Underground. The Arizona Cardinals season is, still going. We're waiting on Kyler. Buddha just checked back in last game. So once Kyler is back, we're going to be banging on all cylinders, I feel like. Shout out the Diamondbacks for one game away from the big dance. I'm going to be tuning in. I'm going to be watching. Arizona is going to be on high alert tomorrow. We win both games tomorrow. Both games being, the Suns and Diamondbacks, obviously. Keep the good vibes up, like what Westville said in the chat. And also, for the people, there's people joining in right now. I started a new YouTube channel. It's in the link in the description. It's called The Pull Up J. Please Subscribe to that. Turn on your notifications. I will be posting something in the next couple of days, and it's going to be about what my opinion is of the playoff contenders going into this year. Very early prediction wise. Thank you for everybody for joining and chatting it up. Very fun. I'm gonna get some Taco Bell. I am hungry, and I'm gonna hit the hay. Thanks, guys. Much appreciated. Go Suns. Go D-backs. Love you guys. Keep the good vibes up, and love your family. Shout out Matthew Lissy.